I sat alone in the dim glow of candlelight at the city's priciest steakhouse, the clink of silverware and murmur of conversations fading into a hollow echo. It was my 34th birthday, and I'd been nursing a glass of scotch for 2 agonizing hours, watching the waiter's sympathetic glances turn to outright pity. My girlfriend, Sophia, was late. Again, but this delay felt deliberate, a new low even for her. I'd fired off calls and texts into the void. No reply. Just as I was about to call it quits, the door swung open with a flourish. And there she was, but not alone. She strode in arm with a slick stranger, his polished shoes clicking against the marble floor, a flashy Rolex catching the light. They paused at my table like actors hitting their mark. Sophia didn't spare me a glance. Instead, she pulled him close, their lips meeting in a slow, theatrical kiss that sucked the air from the room. Pulling back, she turned to him with a smirk, her voice cutting through the silence loud enough for every diner to hear. "See? I told you he'd still be sitting here like a lost little pup." He let out a smug laugh. The restaurant froze. Forks hovered. Eyes darted my way, waiting for the outburst, the scene. But inside me, something shifted. A cold clarity washed over the storm of betrayal, locking the rage behind an unbreakable barrier. I met her gloating stare, then his uneasy one, and felt a real smile spread across my face. Calm, unforced. Rising slowly, I straightened my coat and extended a hand to him. "Well done," I said, my tone steady as steel. "Looks like you've claimed the grand prize." He blinked, shook it on reflex, his grip limp. I slid a crisp 100 onto the table for my drinks, nodded to the wide-eyed waiter with a "enjoy your evening," and walked out. No rush, no fury, just a deliberate exit into the crisp night air that hit like freedom. The first taste of a life unchained. The lost pup had broken free, and he was ready to torch the kennel. Our story started like a dream 2 years back. Sophia was vibrant, warm, seeming to love my drive and ambition. I'm low-key about my success. Lessons from the past taught me that flaunting wealth draws vultures. My penthouse sits in a modest building. My car is solid but unassuming. My style sharp without screaming luxury. She knew I was comfortable, but not the full picture. I kept it that way, wanting her heart for who I was, not what I had. For that first year, it worked. But cracks appeared in the second. Her demands grew, whining about my car not being a BMW, pushing for impromptu jaunts to Paris. She shifted from partner to princess, treating me like an ATM. Her gig as a freelance influencer barely covered coffee, yet I footed the bills. Dinners, getaways, her lease on that sporty convertible, her endless parade of high-end outfits. At first, love blinded me. I could handle it, but her thanks turned to entitlement, her touches timed to precede shopping sprees. She loved bragging to friends that it was her place we'd host at. I'd let her choose the decor, wanting her to nest. Little did I know, she was weaving a fantasy where she ruled the roost, one with no roots in reality. That lost pup jab wasn't random. It mirrored her view of me. Devoted, docile, always at her heel no matter the kicks. She had no clue the pup didn't just rent the penthouse. He owned the whole damn tower. I'd snapped up the building 4 years prior via a shell company, a savvy play that ballooned my returns. She vaguely knew about investments, but details bored her. She cared about splurging, not stacking. The property managers, my employees, handling the grind. Back home that night, I headed straight to the guest room, Her domain, really, crammed with designer racks that could buy a small house. No time for niceties. I grabbed industrial trash bags from the utility closet and got to work. Silk gowns, leather jackets, skinny jeans, yanked and crammed. Heels tumbled in heaps, her vanity cleared of pallets and gems, her tablet tossed atop. Methodical, detached, like erasing a stain. Over an hour later, a dozen bulging bags lined the hall outside my door. I scoured the place for remnants, framed selfies, knickknacks, novels, bagging them neatly on top. Next, a midnight call to the emergency locksmith. He showed up rumpled, no stranger to heartbreak fallout, swapping the locks with quiet efficiency. Cash tipped, he vanished. The space breathed easier now. Truly mine. I poured a neat bourbon, sank into the leather sofa, savoring the stillness. My phone erupted almost instantly. Sophia. Voicemail. A text pinged. Where'd you disappear to? Not cool. Deleted. Another ring from an unknown number. Likely him ignored. I silenced it all, flipped on a movie, and let the digital storm rage unseen. Morning hit like a rebirth. Energy surging through me. Curiosity drew me to the phone. 78 missed calls. A frenzy from Sophia, the guy, Marcus, per her hysterical messages, and her click. The voicemails? A roller coaster. Fuming confusion morphing to desperate pleas. Sobs laced with venom. The unmasking of a queen losing her throne. The climax unfolded around 9 a.m. My office camera feed caught the chaos. Sophia and Marcus gaping at the bag mountain. Her face twisted in fury. She lashed out with kicks, screeching about her ruined couture. He shifted awkwardly, a side character in her unraveling script. Pounding fists shook the door, her voice a shrill echo. My name? Demands. I watched, a faint grin forming, then cracked the door. She halted, stunned. What the hell is this? She spat, jabbing at the pile. You're insane. Your stuff, I replied evenly. Thought you'd want it back. You trashed my things. Let me in my own home now. A smile tugged at me. You're mistaken. This was never yours. Confusion warped her features. What? It's on the lease, my name. No lease exists for you. No signature. No rent paid. Her skin paled as truth dawned. This is my home, I pressed on, voice like velvet over iron. My building, actually. The pup you mocked. He's the owner. Your free stay ends here. 10 minutes to clear the hall, or security handles it. She gawked, mouth agape. Marcus backed away, pale as a spectre. Liar, she breathed. I fetched the deed folder, flashing my name bold on the title. Silence crashed down, her empire of illusion shattering. No longer the queen bee, just a squatter ousted by the man she'd shamed. You can't, she choked, tears flowing. I'm homeless. Not my issue, I said. Maybe Marcus can step up. You two looked cozy. He was already retreating to the elevators, mumbling excuses, fleeing the wreck. 9 minutes, door shut, bolt clicked. Cameras showed her crumple amid the bags, alone as he bolted. The backlash hit next. Hall cleared hours later, but texts flooded from shared friends. What went down? Sophia says you snapped, tossed her out cold. Her spin. Me as the villain. Her the victim dumping a psycho. Omitted the restaurant betrayal. I fired back simple truths to a select few. For my birthday, she showed with a guy. Kissed him publicly. Called me a lost pup for waiting. Relationship over. My owned building's penthouse? Off limits now. Witnesses from dinner corroborated. Her web unraveled. Friends recoiled. Sorry, man, she's unhinged. Financial jabs followed. A fraud ping, 5K handbag attempt on her add-on card, declined. I'd forgotten it existed. Reported stolen, axed it. Her spree fizzled mid-swipe. Another rude awakening. Her family piled on days later. Mom's call was a tirade. Monster, heartless, stranding her angel. I let it flow, then cut in, coolly. Ma'am, your daughter shamed me on my birthday with her fling. Free ride in my property, revoked. Lawyer up if needed. Name, number, click. A week on, Marcus emailed. Genuine regret. Sophia painted me as abusive. The dinner stunt. Her escape. Post-eviction, he saw the manipulation. Her pleas for cash and crash space. Blocked her. Bullet dodged. He closed. No response needed. Validation enough. Word spread. Penniless, she slunk home to parents. Pals ghosted her endless mooching. Her facade, built on my dime, vanished without the pup to prop it. Months passed in blissful calm. Redecorated, traveled with buddies, thrived solo. One evening out for brews downtown, I spotted her across the bar. Sophia, slinging cocktails in a uniform. Our gazes locked. Her old haughtiness gone, replaced by raw humiliation. She ducked into the back. No thrill of revenge stirred, just serene finality. She'd aimed to crush me, but her venom boomeranged, landing her in the grind she